This program is dedicated to the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces, past, present, and future. I'm Keith Warren. I'm a hunter.
What do you think of that? Yeah. Woo!
A fisherman.
2 fish on at one time? Oh my gosh!
A conservationist.
Hey, let go of that nipple. You're done. You're finished.
A family man.
Life is good. I love you, baby.
Love you too.
And I'm proud to be a deer farmer. I'm taking a road trip, and we're going behind the scenes of today's most innovative deer farmers and wildlife management operations in North America. This is Deer and Wildlife Stories.
This may seem like an odd place to start a deer farming show, but that's the way we're going to do things right here in northern Louisiana on today's program. We're at a benefit, and it's called Wheeling in the Hills. The proceeds from this go to help people that, well, they really need help. And we'll be visiting Xtreme Whitetails of Louisiana, where we'll show you some big old bucks. And the best thing about today's show is you're going to see some wonderful Louisiana hospitality.
I'm Chris Patton. I'm from Shoe Joint, Louisiana, and me and my family own Xtreme Whitetails of Louisiana. We're located in north central Louisiana, approximately 30 miles east of Monroe. Our deer farm consists of about 18 acres, and we have approximately 12 breeder pens on this facility here now. I've been deer farming for 6 years now. I've always had a passion for deer. Whitetail deer, I always loved them, been fascinated by them, so I decided one day that I would try to start raising some deer, and it kind of grew from a few deer to a lot of deer, but it's very enjoyable. It's something that my whole family enjoys.
Traveling around the country, I get to see some awful big deer, and I get to be able to see my friends that are deer farmers and get caught up on things, but I love coming over here to northern Louisiana. I love coming to the Patton's Deer Farm, to see some great big deer, because they got it going on with the deer, but they got it going on with their family. They are wonderful people. Now, this is the second time I've been over here. Last year, I came and I had a blast. I mean, I got to see the deer, but I got to meet the Patton family and really get to know them. I attended the benefit, and oh, you talk about a lot of fun. Got to meet a lot of good people, swap a lot of stories, got to eat a nice meal, did a little bit of dancing, just had a lot of fun. The people over here, they're good people, big hearts. They know how to have fun, and they know how to take care of each other, and I'm proud to be back.
My name is Addison Patton. I'm 14 years old, and I love my deer, but I really love my horse, Henry.
Our little daughter, she loves to ride horses. She's always had a passion for horses. She wants to be a vet one day, and this horse has actually helped her over the years, as far as therapy-wise, to help stretch her muscles in her legs, because she had a lot of complications early on. But that horse means more to her, I guess, than pretty much anything in this world. She just loves to ride horses. This horse pretty much gets special treatment, probably better than I do. He gets bathed every day almost, and she brushes him. She gives him treats just like we give the deer. I mean, it's just an amazing bond between her and that horse. Matter of fact, I mean, the horse went to a chiropractor. I never heard of a horse chiropractor, but evidently they do have a horse chiropractor, and if that's what makes her happy, then that makes me happy.
Well, my love of horses kind of combined with my love of writing. A few years ago, I actually wrote my first book, Treasure of the Wild. It is about 4 teenagers who rescue an abused horse. And then after we got that one published, it kind of led into the sequel that I wrote. It's called Ashley's Treasure. It kind of follows up where the first book left off. And it's all about horses. It's just always horses with me. I got to know Mr. Keith last year. He's actually really good friends with my daddy. And my daddy actually wanted me to send him a book and tell him kind of about myself. So I did, and I didn't really think he would respond to me, but he did, and I was really excited about that. And he came out to film our deer farm, and we got to hang out together during the Wheeling in the Hills benefit last year, and that was just a really good chance to get to know him. And now we're really close, and I really enjoy that relationship I have with him. So it was really great to have Mr. Keith back this year because we've got some even bigger deer, and it's really great to get to introduce him to Henry. Henry is an 8-year-old quarter horse. I got him last year. It'll actually be a year this month. I love working with him and getting to know him a lot better. And when we jump together, it's just kind of the greatest feeling I've ever had. I love flying around a jumping course and just working with him. And It actually works as really good therapy for me since I have cerebral palsy. It helps with my stretching my leg muscles out, and working with him has just been really great, and he's just the best partner I could ever ask for. So it's great to have this partnership with him. I'm Addison Patton, and you're watching Deer and Wildlife Stories.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you in part by Bruton Easy Pull Trailers, Deer Guardian Misting Systems, Game Management Software, the North American Deer Farmers Association, Record Rack Deer Feeds, Whitetail Sales and Service, and Newport Labs.
Well, I can't believe it. It is middle of August, and it seems like every single farm that we've been to this year, looking at deer, has been cooler than normal. And right here, middle of August in northern Louisiana, folks, it's cool. It's really cool.
It definitely is. Yep.
I mean, the deer are liking it though.
Yes, they are.
Typically, it is nice and humid out here, but not today. But I'll tell you something, these 2-year-olds, that's what they are, right? 2-year-olds?
Yes, those are 2-year-olds.
Now, they're looking good. Now, last year when we were here, we got video of these guys when they were 1.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I could tell when they were 1. I want to go back and show the video right now of last year's visit out here. They were very impressive 1-year-olds. And now take a look at them at 2. They're big. I mean, they're big framey deer. Now, unlike a lot of deer farms that we go to, you've only been deer farming how many years now?
6 years.
But when you started, you don't have that many deer in comparison to a lot of guys that a lot of farms that we go to. But your deer, I mean, you've got great quality deer. Now, when you started in the deer farming business, you brought deer in. Back then, the borders in Louisiana were open,
right,
and you could import deer in. Where did you bring them from, and why did you bring deer in rather than dealing with deer from right here?
Well, the majority of my deer are northern deer. They come around the Pennsylvania area, and some from Indiana, and a few from Minnesota. But the main reason I bought the northern deer is because they're early mature in genetics. They just grow off earlier. They have more mass. They have more time length. It's just bigger bodied deer, and that's what I wanted for my farm.
Okay, so I got to ask you this. Have you had any issues with northern deer bringing them down here to the south? Because I know years ago there were people say that the northern deer would not do well down in the south.
The biggest issue I've had is with heat and EHD. I mean, we have lost a few deer through the years to EHD, but other than that, I mean, overall, I'm pleased with the deer I've got now. I mean, they've been here long enough that they're acclimated to the climate now, and I really don't have any trouble with them now.
Well, deer all over the country get EHD.
Right.
So it's not just deer that are brought from north down to south. Deer up in the north get EHD, deer in the south get EHD, deer get EHD, and it can kill them.
Exactly.
And it's unfortunate, but it does happen.
Right, exactly.
But okay, getting back to your deer, I mean, I'm looking at mid-August, and I mean, they're beautiful, big framed and all. When are these deer gonna come out of the velvet?
Probably about the last week in August. I figure they'll start rubbing out the velvet.
Okay. All right, well, so they're basically done.
Yes, sir.
But, well, who's that guy over there, the guy without any antlers? Who's that?
That's Tombstone over there.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened to him?
He got an antler infection a couple weeks ago, and I was worried about him, so I decided to just go ahead and make the decision to cut him to keep from losing the deer. He had a pretty nice rack this year at 3, and I just didn't want to take a chance of losing the deer.
Antler infections are a thing that you got to really watch out for, but I'm looking at the 2-year-olds and I'm thinking, I know they took a huge jump from with the way they were at yearlings.
Right.
And I'm thinking, okay, and I'm looking at Tombstone saying, okay, did you breed Tombstone? Do you have any babies out of them? Tell me about that.
Yes, I did. I bred Tombstone as a yearling. He had a bad year as a yearling, he had a bad year as a 2-year-old, but I bred him anyway. He got EHD as a yearling and almost died on me, and I got him over that. And then last year at 2 years old, he got a jaw infection, a tooth infection. He didn't eat anything for almost 3 weeks last year, around June to July. He just got down poor.
Wow.
So, long story short, yes, I did. I bred him as a yearling, I bred him as a 2-year-old. And I've got some pretty nice yearlings off of him this year. I'm well pleased with what he's producing.
At 1-year-old, folks, that Tombstone was 220-something inches.
Yeah.
And he was a beast, and he's a pretty 220 inches. The deal is, in our industry, we can look at a pretty yearling, and you got to look at him then again at 2 and then again at 3 and make sure he's not doing something weird. But Tombstone had it going on as a yearling, and then when I got here last year to take a look at him, like you said, he had a tooth infection. And I think tooth infection, I mean, that's kind of odd. Yeah. You hear deer getting infection for a lot of things, but a tooth infection is kind of odd. But last year, I was expecting a whole lot, but he was a nice deer, but he didn't do what I thought you thought he was going to do, or what I thought he was going to do.
Yeah.
but you had bred him. So
Yes.
if somebody doesn't breed with their own stuff, then to me, they don't have
That's
faith in their own
exactly right.
stuff.
Exactly.
So you bred heavy with your own stuff. And what happens is that you take a good yearling, you breed with him, and you keep your fingers crossed.
Exactly.
And you hope that his offspring are gonna be good, because if his offspring are good, then you know he's throwing good. So,
Right.
all right, you say he's got some good yearlings on the ground?
Yes, sir.
All right,
You ready to take a look?
let's go.
It's time for viewer feedback, brought to you by the Deer and Wildlife Stories YouTube channel.
Hey Keith, I've owned a ranch for several years now, and I want to purchase some deer to improve the quality of genetics on my place. I know you've been to many deer farms over the years, and was wondering if you could come out to my place to help me make the right decisions. Keep up the good shows, Vincent. Vincent, all you need to do is just give me a holler. Shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to work something out with you. I have been to many deer farms. I've helped a lot of people putting better genetics in their place, and tell you what, after we get done, a few years later, people go, man, it looks like you brought in deer from out of state. We can improve the quality of genetics on anybody's piece of property, really. So, Vincent, go ahead and just shoot me an email, and I'll get right back with you.
Got a question about deer farming or a comment about the show? I'd love to hear from you. Make sure and shoot me an email, and also watch all of our programs and outtakes as well right here on the Deer and Wildlife Stories YouTube channel.
I'm Felicia Patton, and you're watching Deer and Wildlife Stories with Keith Warren.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you in part by buckbreeders.com, DNA Solutions and the North American Deer Registry, New Dart, Shock Effect Probiotics, and Keith Warren's Texas Hidden Springs Ranch, the best value for Texas trophy deer hunting.
Well, I don't even know where to begin except shake my hand, because buddy, you got something lined out right. That right there, that's incredible. Folks, you ever seen such a pretty group of yearlings? They're pretty. I know a lot of people I hear saying, you know, the deer aren't pretty anymore. They're big, they're not pretty. Well, folks, those are pretty deer. And if those aren't pretty, I want to know why they're not pretty. I mean, that right there is unbelievable. Most of them you say are out of Tombstone?
Yes, sir. All of them are out of Tombstone besides one yearling.
Look at the long G2s and G3s on these deer. Definitely out of their daddy.
Yep, he throws time length, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh, they are great yearlings, and they're going to be unbelievable when they hit 2 years old.
I feel like they will be too.
Oh my gosh, and look at that big one. Oh, there's no telling how big he is, but I mean, he looks a lot like Tombstone.
He does. He has the same frame as Tombstone, and he was a yearling, so I got high expectations for that deer there.
You know, that deer right there, I mean, he's already wide.
Yes, sir.
He's the widest deer over there. I tell people when they're looking at yearlings, because I've had yearlings on my place take a jump. I mean, the little old knothead that got the right blood,
Right.
and then, I don't know, maybe he got sick or something, but at 2, he blows up.
Yep.
So don't even count out, even the smallest yearling there is a really good yearling buck.
On the average, all of Tombstone's yearlings are pretty nice deer.
If he's putting them on the ground like that here, he can put them on the ground like that anywhere. And that's at your place, my place, any place. The cool deal is now is I want you to take a look at the average deer through there. They're all pretty, they're all typical. The average size, if you were to take a look at the average size deer through there, I'm going through it, there are no squeakers. There's nothing in there that you'd like to cull out. They're all good. And when it comes to lining up breeding programs, it all comes down to percentages. What we want to do is we want to get the highest percentage that you can, to give you the best return.
Exactly.
Tombstone got it done, so.
Across the board, he's producing.
But you've got people now, I mean, there's people in Texas that are using Tombstone semen, and there are people, all over are going to be starting to put it in because he's getting the job done. I mean, just take a look at that. Now, let me ask you this. Do you set people up? Will you help people get started in their own deer farm?
Yes, sir. I certainly will. Matter of fact, I've done it probably since I've been a deer farmer. Once after the first couple of years, we have a lot of new deer farmers that come to the state that want to come visit, do a farm visit, and I've actually let them use bucks before breeder bucks just to give them a start. Mm-hmm. Because we need more deer farmers in the state of Louisiana, and it's a good thing for bonding your family together, the kids and stuff like that, being outdoors and having these kids exposed to something that really means something in life. And to me, if I can help another deer farmer with a buck or a doe, or let them use a breeder buck, then it's worth it to me.
See, I know in Louisiana, if you're watching this program and you're in Louisiana, currently the borders are closed.
Yep.
Chris wound up, he was lucky enough to be able to bring deer in before the borders were closed. But you can deal with these genetics and you don't have to start big. Like I said, you don't have many deer in comparison to a lot of farms.
Right.
But the deer farming industry in Louisiana is really, really good.
It is.
It's very lucrative because there's a big demand for these deer. And I mean, Louisiana is a very special place. Those are some beautiful yearlings. Oh my gosh. Do you sell, as far as live deer goes too, you've got bucks, does, and fawns you can deliver anywhere in Louisiana, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
All right, what about farm tours? How does somebody go about getting the information from you to do a farm tour?
All they have to do is call my cell phone number at 318-265-2955, or we have a website. You can go online and look us up, and we welcome people to come by all the time, especially people with kids.
I look around and I see these pieces of plywood leaned up against the fence. What's that all about?
It's mainly for shelter for the fawns, or in the summertime for shade, and then, you know, in the wintertime, whenever it's raining and stuff like that, those fawns will get up under there and they'll bed. In my experience, it has helped the fawns as far as health-wise and stuff. They have a way to get out of the rain and the weather, and then also the sun too, and they just seem to stay healthier.
Chris, I'm telling you something. You're a good guy. You got a great family. But right now, we're gonna break away, and there's a bunch of other special people that need our help, and they need your help too. So we're gonna go over there, and we're gonna do a little benefit, and we're gonna have some fun. You got some good looking yearlings, pal. Woo!
Thank you. We host a fundraiser event for some handicapped hunters every year. This is our second year to be doing it. We have a special event where we raise money for these kids and adults as well, so they can have some of the feeders and the guns and the utilities that they need to actually get out in the outdoors. We're very pleased with what we've come to at this point. Every year it seems to be getting bigger and bigger, and it's just a good way to give back to these people, like I said, that are not as fortunate as we are. We're at the Lincoln Expo Center here in Ruston, Louisiana, at the fundraiser. You see we have a lot of silent auctions. We have 2 alligator heads that Keith Warren has signed. Everybody's just having a great time out here. Everybody's having a good time. We got lunch served up here. We got face painting for the kids. We got a jumping deal out there for the kids. And we got Lainey Wilson as a country singer for entertainment.
My name is Lainey Wilson. We're here at the Wheeling in the Hills. It's basically an organization where we're raising money to make hunting more accessible for the handicapped. I'll be doing the entertainment here at the event. This is a great way for me to give back to my community. I love being a part of such a great event because, you know, it's just nice seeing everybody come together and support such a great organization, and just seeing our community come together really means a lot to me, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
The kind of people that come to this fundraiser are mainly local people from this community and surrounding areas, surrounding cities, but they have a big heart just like I do. They want to give back to these people and these young men and women so they can have an opportunity to be in the outdoors and actually get to hunt, things that we take for granted. But it's overall, it's just a big community project, and everybody comes together for one benefit once a year. When we started out trying to raise funds for this fundraiser every year, we actually sell t-shirt sponsors, and we have businesses that actually can buy a logo to go on the back of the t-shirts. And then we also have a silent auction where we have people donate items, ice chests, guns, anything to do with outdoors, knives, fishing stuff. And the silent auction has been a real big hit the last couple of years. I mean, we've raised a lot of money from that. I mean, you'll be surprised what a person will spend on a $10 item just to know that it's going to a good cause to help somebody else. I've been very fortunate. I wound up marrying a good woman. I got 2 good kids. We've had our ups and downs through life, but this deer farmer's brought us all together and kept us together for years. And to me, you know, it's just a way of us giving back, just like this deal with the Wheeling in the Hills. I mean, to me, it's a very good deal to give back to somebody that don't have the opportunities like we have had the opportunities to be. Every day you wake up and you just thank God that you're here and thank God for what you do have. And I think that makes you a better deer farmer and a better person when you really realize, you know, how fortunate you are. Anybody watching this show that would like to get involved in this fundraiser, we accept donations from anybody, hunts, just anything. Every little bit helps to get this organization to where they need to be at and actually have more members that join it. Everybody's having a good time out here. My only concern is keeping Keith in line. Last year, he didn't get so lucky.
Really not sure what that was about, to be honest with you. They're expecting more people here this year than they had last year, which is gonna mean more security, and I promise you, I am gonna be on my best behavior. I think this is the same car I got to ride in last year. I bet it is. Oh, look, it's open. Check this out, man. Look at this. Boy, they need to grease that door. Man, check this out. I mean, you got all kinds of switches. You know, microphone. Adam 112. I call him Batman.
Mr. Warren, what are you doing in that car?
Um,
Didn't you learn your lesson last year?
yeah, let me get out of here.
No, you're gonna get in the back. We're gonna take a little ride. How about that?
No. Look. I just thought this was the same car that I was in last year.
Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Oh my God.
We're gonna cuff you up.
You know what? All I wanted to do was just get in the car. I didn't want to. I'm gonna have another ride downtown. I'm telling you.
You got fat wrists.
Oh, you got a fat head.
If you'd like to watch full episodes of our program 24/7 online in full high definition, log on to my website at deerandwildlifestories.com. There you'll find the shows, but you'll also find a lot of outtakes and behind the scenes videos as well. That's deerandwildlifestories.com. Reproductive services for Deer and Wildlife Stories is provided by Dr. Ray Favero's Whitetail Genetics.